Hello everyone, today I wanted to share how I separate stamps. Now, still the best way is generally soaking when dealing with used stamps, especially when they're on paper. But sometimes in the case of a used stamp, such as this pair right here, where they're just lightly connected and maybe I'm not ready to do a batch soaking and I want to get to them right away, I will put them in what's called a sweat box. So basically this is just, in my case, a plastic container with a little bit of moisture in it in the sponge, or sometimes I just drizzle it next to the sponge and it will soak up over time. Doesn't really feel wet to the touch, but I'll place it generally face down in or near the stamp, right, in or near the sponge, excuse me. This also works really, really well for hinge remnants. On mint or otherwise. I didn't happen to have a hinge remnant on a mint that I could find quickly to show you, but it does a better job than pulling it off directly. You're less likely to create a thin or disturbed gum. Now let's see, what else do we have here? So I have here where I have obviously a mint stamp that's very, very stuck to a used stamp. And of course, I don't think I could peel that off without tearing one or both of the stamps. In this case, this will work very well for this, but in my experience, depending on the type of gum, a lot of times there will be a little bit of gum loss and a little bit of gum transfer to the other stamp. Now, the gum transfer to the other stamp can be washed off. Usually the sponging process it'll still be a little too tacky to wipe off, but you could then later soak or wash it with a little bit more water. So let's drop this one in as well. Again, face down is recommended. Now, sometimes we have very lightly stuck stamps, and I actually had this example, which I wanted to show, but it was so lightly stuck that it broke off. And you can see that there was some ink transfer, so we won't be able to demonstrate this one, but that would have been what I was looking to avoid, was removing some of the ink from the lower stamp. Okay, now I have this fairly large conglomerate here. This is 3 used stamps stuck to a stamp that still has gum. It happens to probably be a canceled order stamp that still has gum. In this case, since they're very lightly stuck, we'll probably have some very good luck with this. Let me set this in there as well. And where this doesn't typically work as well, I mean, it will work, but it will take time. I'm not sure if this is clear here, but this is probably 5 or 6, what I'm assuming are the same stamp, possibly more, all stuck together. Now, they're not stuck all the way across, but they are such a thick pack. What happens there is the humidity takes a while to get through them. So another example here is 2 used and a unused stamp together. I'll place those in as well. At this point, I've fairly well crowded my sponge, and I don't really want to put any stamps where they're touching gum. I'm not too worried about that hinge, so I don't think I'll add any more at this point. So the next is to top it with a lid so the humidity builds, and then wait some time. Now, something like a hinge remnant on a thin stamp, that might be ready to peel off in an hour. Some of these stamps that are lightly stuck to each other, again, an hour might be enough. On the other hand, some of the more stuck stamps might take, all day. That said, there's a point which you probably want to give up. If say they're on paper, and this doesn't normally work well for on paper, it might work well for paper remnants and whatnot, thin paper remnants. But if you're not getting good results, give up on it, and it's probably time to soak. Anyway, I'll post a follow-up to this showing the results when we're done. Thank you.